Hello coders, good morning. Good morning. 7 a.m. 7 a.m. on a Tuesday, and we're going to be working on some unit testing and some refactoring. I am also joined by Murphy. Murphy! Good boy. Good boy. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get in to the code. I've just done a Docker machine start on this, and I need to do an eval. Brilliant stuff. Okay, and I am going to do. That's right, I'm going to go over to here and I'm going to show you the code coverage as it stands. So here we go. So this is how it stands at the moment, the code coverage. Before Sunday it was roughly 75%, maybe shooting to 76%, but we added a bunch of stuff in here to do with things like the on the hook, the handlers and the validators. As you can see, it's kind of, there needs to be, it doesn't make any sense, does it? There's lots of things all over the place. I'm going to do a bit of refactoring today. The handler here, for instance, has a bunch of routines. Well, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 routines, but these routines need to be sort of moved in other places. For instance, this handler handles the request that comes in. It validates that request, and then it saves the event. Now, the saving of the event happens on the current class, so in here. So this isn't following the usual process of saving an entity, because entities are managed by managers, and repositories are used to fetch those routines. So this whole method here really needs to go into its own little method within the Stripe Webhook status repository, not within this itself. So there's a couple of things to play with. Also with the validation routine, there's a lot of things I want to play with in there. So this goes off to the Webhook validator, which I believe is it in the current folder? Yes, it is. It's in here. So there's a couple of things to play with in here. I mean, this validates whether, this validates the type and the payload, but there's a lot of other things that we can do, such as making sure that it is JSON, making sure that we've got things like the right signatures and headers and so on and so forth. Also, there's a lot of mess in here that I want to play around with. So for instance, we've got a private property here called isValid, which is a boolean, which is false. But we also have a method called isValid, which then returns isValid, which in my opinion doesn't make any sense. So I might have like has errors or something. So we're a little bit of playing around today with all this. And also there is a validation routine here which has a Stripe webhook, which doesn't make any sense. This is checking against IP addresses. So we might combine those. But anyway, let's get into the code. That would probably help. We're going to take a look at the handlers first, because I think that's probably the easiest thing to deal with. It is early in the morning, so and I've only had 3 sips of my tea. Murphy is still snoozing. All right. Let's get into. I don't know if can you see that from there? I moved the camera. I don't know. Can you see the doggo? No. All right. Let's get into this. So we've got Stripe, we've got hook, and we've got the handler. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the entities, the management and the fetching of those. And this in particular, well, we've got two. We've got saving of the event, and we've also got fetching of the status. We'll deal with the status first, I believe. This is running off of the webhook status thing here. And I think, if I remember rightly, we did put in a test in integration in the repo. We should have something in here called Stripe webhook status. There we go. So this is fetching it by the internal name, but it's doing it by the find one by. I want to have an actual routine called find one by internal name, or find by internal name, rather than doing it through this, I think. So let's get into here. Yeah, I want to have a routine in here called find one by, and what I'm going to do first of all, let's create a failing test first up. Well, let's just change this test as a failing test. We know that this works. Let's just make sure it runs as our control. So we're going to get into bash. Get into the container. We're going to do bin code set run integration -g passing in this. Whoops. And we should only need to run that one test. I mean, this will work. This is fine, but we'll break it. Let's get into here and change this. So instead of find one by, we're doing find by find by internal name, and we'll get rid of all this, and we'll get rid of all that, and we'll put this onto here, and we still want to make sure that this returns a status. That's fine. Okay, run the code. This will fail. Why did that not fail? Oh, okay, because it's using the conventions. Ugh. Okay. How have I done it before? Give me a sec. I need. Oh, I see what I need to do. I need to actually. I need to change the. I think this was going to work as well, because it's basically using these as magic methods, I think. No, it's not. Okay, that's good. Find by internal ID is great. This is what I need. It's because failed at saying that. That is correct, isn't it? That is correct. That is the right way. Till I haven't had enough tea. There we go. That is a magic method, isn't it? So let's grab that and actually build that out. So if we go to the repo, that's the wrong thing. That's what I'm looking for. We do that's a string, and it is internal name, and it is return this find one by. Essentially it's what that was doing, but it's now encapsulated. So internal. What's up, bud? What's up, buddy? Okay. And we want to, instead of doing return, because we want to make sure that it either returns null or a Stripe webhook status. So we need to do n cannot spell today. Result is equal to, and we want to make sure that this result is. So we want to do return, and we want to do instance of, or isn't an instance of, or no, we'll do an instance of. There we go, instance. Stripe webhook status. We return the result. Otherwise, we return null. There we go. Let's tidy up the code of Mo. He says, there we go. Good stuff. So if we go back over to here, that should now be good. Run this again. Bear with me a minute. I'm just going to let him out. I think he needs to right, so that worked. Yeah, I'm just going to let him out. Bear with me a minute. Bless him. All right, so let's throw some things at this. Let's do a data provider. So let's do a internal name provider, which is going to return an array. We're just going to make sure that we have all the bits in there. So we're going to return an array. Bear with a sec. I have messages. Alright, so we're going to return an array, and in here, oops, it's going to be another array of things. So let's do Stripe webhook status new, and let's do another one underneath this. I think this is the right way of doing it. Either that, or I probably need to do. So that's new. This one is going to be errored. This one's going to be invalid. This one is going to be processed. Whoops, sorry, processed. And then the other one is going to be null, or something completely different. It's going to be something random, a rando. So let's do does not exist. I can't remember whether this is the right format. I think it's an array of arrays, I believe. Anyway, let's just put this up into here. So this one is actual. I think it's an array. I don't know. No, maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's just try a string. Passing in the string into here. Let's just get rid of this because this is going to throw wobbly. and I've put this in the wrong place, haven't I? That is now in here, and this actual status, there we go, that needs to go down here. So this is going to ensure that, well, let's run this first up. Actually, I need to supply the data provider, that would help. Data provider is internal name, there we go. Let's give this a quick run. So you can, there we go. So you can see it's ran all those 4. So this will ensure that all of these statuses are actually in the database. And also another thing I want to do, I do want to try the null or something that doesn't exist. Now this should fail. Yeah, so it's returning null, so we need to check for that. So I need to, this is testing the valid path. Let's test the invalid path. So the invalid path would be internal name valid. That's what this is doing, internal name valid, and then we'll do another test for the invalid path, which is very similar to this. And we will remove all of these except for this one. Just change that to be so we're going to make sure that that returns null. That's find by internal name, by valid internal name, by invalid internal name. Oops, that's not going to work. Let's get this all the way back to status, so that should run both tests. There we go. Okay, so we've got some failures here. Let's have a look. I think this is failing on the yeah, that needs to be invalid. Yeah. So that's testing the specification to make sure that those things are in the database. There's no code in there that doesn't exist. There's no statuses that I haven't put in or whatnot. I will need to keep this updated. This is my spec. But anyway, let's get back to the code because we went off on a bit of tangent there. Let's get back to the actual purpose of today's stream, and that is to sort this out. The get status routine. This is now in the repo now, and that's tested. Let's I need to create a manager for this. So we're gonna I'm just gonna copy one, paste one in here. So, oh, that's the tests. Sorry, beg your pardon. Let's. Where are the managers? Here we go. Yeah, no, I don't have it yet. I'm just going to grab one of these, going to paste this in. This is a Stripe Webhook status manager. It's going to be empty for the time being. Because I need to write some tests for this, so let's go back to the tests. We are going to copy that in. This is going to be the Stripe status manager test. There we go. Probably test. I've copied probably the worst one. Let's just grab. I don't think I need it before. Don't need that, I don't think. Well, we probably need to. Right. Public function test get repository. Always returns void. Right. So we want to do status manager is equal to new Stripe Webhook status manager. That's correct. And we want to do status get repository. We want to make sure that that is equal to, so we want to do Stripe Webhook status is okay. So this is gonna cry and fail miserably because that needs to be set up with the entity manager, which we can do. Just going to copy that for reference. Okay, let me do a do I not group these? I thought I did. Right, let's run that as a test. Let's turn that down a wee bit. Doesn't need to be that loud for this time of the morning. Yeah, I haven't set up my abstract stuff, have I? So if we go into here, Actually, no, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one too. Here we go. Boom. Alright, so let's run those tests. Come on. Yep. Yep. So this is going to be this how have I done it with the other ones? Mine's going blank. Here we go. This entity manager. This entity manager, get repository, passing in the webhook Stripe webhook, sorry. And it's this one. And we want to create a var on this and do Stripe webhook status and its repo. There we go. And we want to change this to be that too. There we go. Okay, let's run that test again. That should be okay. Yep. Okay, cool. And then once we've got that done, once we've got that done, we can now inject the manager into our thing. Into here. So we're going to change the entity manager interface is something that I want to remove basically from this. But right now what I'm going to do is just put it over here because this does work. So I'm gonna put it in and then I'm going to remove it. So I'm going to do a what am I thinking? I'm going to do a Stripe webhook status manager, and in here we're going to do this status. So this is going to look really awful right now, but there is a reason for this. Private status manager, which is the alright, so then down in here where we do our save routines, get status, passing in that as the internal name, we can now refactor this to be this status manager, get repository, find one by internal name, passing in the internal name. And that will return that. In fact, because it's just one line, we could probably even sort this out. So status is equal to you. Again, this looks gawping, but we'll tidy it up. So that removes this and removes that line. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is work on that save routine. Because then that means that we can remove the entity manager. And what I'm going to do eventually is put a manager bag in here, which has both the status manager and the webhook manager in. But that's in my head for later. So we'll do this save routine. The save routine shouldn't be in here. Shouldn't be in the handler. Shouldn't be in here at all. Save routine should be in its own manager for the webhook. So, okay, and we pass in the event. So, like I've done before, I'm going to create a manager test in here, but specifically for the webhook. So not the status, just the webhook. And this manager doesn't actually exist yet. So if we do Stripe, well, let's just create the blank class first, like we did before. That's probably the best way about this. Okay, so this should return nope, shouldn't return that. I've got a feeling I haven't set this up yet. Oh no, I have. It's down here. Okay, so then down in testing land, okay, let's run that test, see if it fails or passes. I think it's just that. That's good. Okay, cool. We're gonna create one now. So we're gonna do a public function create test. Now this is going to do. We're gonna need to do a setup routine because we need to deal with this each time. So let's do. Is it setup? I forget. Have I done? I'm sure I've done this. Create. Maybe. I don't know. Have I? Probably. Doesn't look like I have. That's annoying. Okay, let's just do it. So we do the protected, and this is a manager, and the manager is going to be that one, and we're going to do I think it's public function. My autocompletes might help. Aha, setup. All right. So in the setup routine, got this. And that means that I can refactor this, remove this all, so we can do that, and down in here we can do this manager create. So this is going to be our webhook, and we need to do a self assert the instance of Stripe webhook. I keep pressing that button, it's so annoying. Okay, let's run those tests. Why was there only one running? Interesting. Anyway, that's failed for some reason. Webhook manager tester must not be accessed before initialization. Okay. Is it? Okay. This might answer why I haven't done a setup routine in here before. Let's just try setup. That is the only thing I've got in there. That's frustrating. What about in here? Nope. Let's go a little bit deeper. Maybe it's a before rather than or a construct. Oh, I don't know. Let's just get that running and see. Yeah, a before. Okay, so a setup I think is before the class is constructed, and a before is before each of the tests. So that makes sense. Okay, that's running, but I'm only getting that one test. I thought there was two. There's that one, and then there's Manager Stripe Webhook. Manager Stripe Webhook. Why is this not? Come on, there must be something obvious going on here. Public function create test. Can I just run this? No test. Okay, so I've obviously screwed this up. Oh, I've got the. I'm running in the. Sorry, test create. I've got the things around the wrong way. Okay. Let's just run them both together. That should now run two. Okay, so failed at asserting that null is not the case, so that means that this we need to return a new instance of Stripe Webhook. I've done it again, I've pressed the shift rather than the... There we go. So this needs to return a Stripe Webhook. Ah, come on. Cool, and you know, that's pretty noddy, that should work. Next thing we need to do is test the public function create update from event, and this, sorry, this is a test, isn't it? Or we could do create from event. It's the same deal. The idea is that we've got a webhook here. Which equals this manager create from event, and the event is event equals new Stripe. Now it needs to be an event, an actual Stripe event. And again, we're going to make sure that that's correct. Essentially now we're ripping apart that method that is in let me see. It's probably best to put this up in, let's get rid of all this rubbish. Let's put this on the right. Yeah, so we're passing an event in here, and we've got a new webhook event coming through. Oh, Stripe webhook. Essentially, I want to set all of this from this, so I need to replicate what that is, and then deal with that. And then there's going to be a separate save routine. So oops. If we ran this now, that should fail. That needs to be changed to create from event. There we go. Create from event. Call to undefined method. That's fine. That's what we're after. So let's get into that. It's in here. Public function create from event. All right. So we pass in the Stripe event, which is there. And what we want to do is return, we want Stripe webhook is equal to this create, because we want to create a new entity, and we essentially want to return, we're going to end up returning it. So if I was to run this now, that should pass. I think I should only run one now, because I know the other two are fine. So yeah, let's do that. Let's just run, I think it's create from event. There we go. So we'll just work on this one for a second. There we go. So, okay, the next thing we want to do is on the test. Is there a way of there we go. Okay, splitting it up a little bit more. So we've got our test down here, and we've got our can't speak. So we got our test down here. We have our handler here, and we have our manager there. There we go. Let's get rid of all of these so we're not confused. Okay, so we've split it in three ways. So this is our template, what we want to try and use. This is what we're going to build from this, and then this is our testing routine. So let's get back to our testing routine. We want to ensure that we have a type off of here. So let's do a self assert let's do assert same, So the expected is, and if I remember rightly, I think it's, give me a sec. I can't remember. There we go. Payment intent created. Let's use that. So we do webhook. Oops. Get type. And if we run this, this will now fail. This will be our failing test. So now what I need to do is put this into the event. So we do event. And I think we can do type. Is this public? I don't know. Property type. Event. I'm not sure if this works, but we'll see. Oh, there's another one. Invoice created, charge refunded. We'll see. We might be able to do this. I don't know. We'll see. No. Is there a way I can... Maybe I need to mock this. Yeah, maybe I need to mock it. Wow, look at all these. And these are all the events. Huh. I see. Okay. It's just a class of events, isn't it? I've never really looked into this. API resource. Get saved nested. With parent set. Magic methods. We've got to refresh. I have a feeling that I'm going to have to mock this out. I think. Let's just get it. Let's go a little deeper. I haven't actually gone through any of this, so it's interesting to see how this is set up. Constructor ID, and I think this is options, so null and null. Parse options. Values. We've got a getter here. I'm assuming that we've got a setter somewhere. Sorry, that's a setter. I'm assuming we've got a getter. We've got an isSet, we've got an unset, and we've got a get. Looping over these values. Can I therefore do, I'm just playing now. Can I therefore do, let's pass that in as null, and then let's pass that in as an array. Can we do type? Is that possible, maybe? Let's give that a go. And just see. I'm just throwing code at the wall now and seeing if it sticks. No. It's still null. Hang on, wait. Have I snookered myself? If we go to create an event here. I haven't even said it. Oh, silly me. I was like, hang on a minute, this should work. Okay, sorry. Let's set type. It's event type. There we go. Let's see if first up. Let's see if yeah. Let's see if that works. The array works. So that's probably a prettier version of. Lol. No. And why is that run? Create an event. Undefined property event instance type. Can we do event set? Alright, let's try the other way. What we had before. There we go. Yeah, it is a magic method. I thought it was. Alright, so we can set the type on there and we can check the types coming back. Okay, that makes sense. So that covers this off. Next thing, we'll do the event ID because that's pretty similar, I think. So EVT test ID. So if Stripe ever decides to change any of this, I will know. Get event ID is that, and that is this. And we want to go up into here, and we want to do Stripe webhook set event ID is event ID. There we go. All right, let's run that test. I like that. Cannot set ID on this object. Hint, you cannot set ID. Okay. Can I do it from here then? Because there is an ID thing going on here, the ID. So I wonder if I can do it from... Yes, I can. Okay. That's cool. Right, so that covers this off. It covers this off. Let's do the payload now. So, what's the payload? Data. I'm assuming it's the same deal. Data is equal to, and it comes in as JSON, which would be transformed as an array. So what we could do is a serialize. No. We could do. It doesn't have to be correct. It just needs to be able to be set and fetched. So let's do. Dummy data. Because it's at this thing we do our serialization. So what I'm going to do is serialize data is equal to serialize data is equal to you. Serialized data is equal to this. This is equal to this. That's the serialized thing. Then down in here, what we can do is we can make sure that the serialized data, if we did get payload, is the same as the serialized data. I think that's correct. So let's do this. This should fail. There we go. So if we did, if we dived into here and we did Stripe Webhook set payload. Now what we do need to do is to serialize the payload, which is event data. All right, let's run the test again, because this will make sure that we have serialized this from within here. Let's run that test. Okay. Oh, hang on a minute. Am I serializing the whole thing? No, I am just serializing data. I am just serializing data, but it's wrapped in something, isn't it? We look here. We have our Stripe object. Right, let's dive into what this is in the world of Stripe. So it's not in here, it's in the object. We're probably going to have to bring that up a bit. Let's look for the word data, which could be everywhere, probably. It's probably nope. Nope. Just looking at how it's constructed. JSON serialized to array. Oh, okay, we've got 2 arrays in here, and two JSON serialized. Interesting. 2 JSON, 2 string, deep copies. Anything, we got serializable, countable array access, and that's the Stripe object. Retrieve options. If we come up a level, or up 2 levels, what we've got ID object account. Created, here we go. Data is it is the Stripe object. I see. It is the Stripe object. So it is all of this. I see now. It is all of that. Okay, so right. So serialized data really should be yes, it is this right. So it's that. I gotcha. I got it. Okay. So yes, the event. I see how it's constructed. You've got the event, and then you've got the Stripe object underneath. The event is right. Okay, I see. So hopefully this will work now. Have I done that correctly? Yeah, that's correct. I'm going to put a little note in for myself there, because I will probably come back to this and go, what did I do? Okay, so that handles this one. So we've done the event ID, we've done the payload, we've done the type. Okay, so now we can look at the status. Now the status comes in through I'm wondering if we don't worry about that for now. So I think that's okay actually. So if we were to refactor this, excuse me, the thing I would do is I would put in a constructor in here called manager, another manager in here, but I would group these. I would have a manager bag. What's the time? 8:01. That's fine. We got time. We got time. All right. Let's create our manager bag. Let's create our manager bag. Okay, let's that needs to be coming back as a Stripe webhook. Press the damn button again. It's a new keyboard and my up and down keys are not what my fingers expect. No. Right, yeah, okay, let's tidy this up. Let's get rid of some of these windows, because that's all good. Okay, so next is to create a manager bag. So do I have any tests for manager bags or not? Probably not, knowing me. Anything in here? Naughty, naughty, naughty. I'll create one very quick. I'll just smash it together. Managers, manager bags. Here we go. So it's essentially, I've only got the one. Something like this, where we've got a Stripe manager bag. There we go. That'll do for now. Stripe manager bag. Whoops. Let's get rid of all of this, all of these things. And essentially, I would like to have a Stripe webhook manager, which is Stripe webhook manager. I would also like to have a Stripe webhook status manager, please. Thank you. These two. That to me looked like PHP 8 and it's not. Okay, so this is Stripe webhook manager. This is the Stripe status manager. And this webhook manager is equal to webhook manager, and you guessed it, this status manager is equal to status manager. And then what we need to do underneath all of this is some getters and setters. There we go. And then in our handler, what we do is we replace this one with a manager bag. Like so. It means that we don't have to have the one that we did have. Down in here, we've got an error, which is this. What we can do is we can do this manager bag. Correct. Get the status manager. There we go. And also, what we can do is this manager bag, get webhook manager, create from event, passing in the event, and that will replace all of this apart from the status, which is there. I'm going to shorten these because these are pretty long. Let's change this to be. Let's get rid of them all for a second. This is going to be. Status manager. Webhook manager. And I want to just double check what I've done with this. Yeah, I have done that. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, and then in the handlers, we can change this to be get status manager and get webhook manager. Okay, there we go. Now on the webhook manager routine, because it extends the I think for ease, I'm going to do webhook manager is equal to this manager bag. Whoops. Okay, webhook manager. There we go. Just for ease, just because I'm going to reference this a few times. So there's that. And I believe on here there is a save and flush. Boom. Yes, there is, which is our Stripe webhook, which means that we can get rid of these two lines, because these two, the entity manager is also in here, so we can get rid of those. I'm also going to tidy this up as well. So we've got status manager is equal to you, just because it's a bit lengthy and it's nice to, when I debug this, it's nice to actually get into the find out what these are. Cool. Okay, I think that makes a little bit more sense. And then we can now get rid of this. Which is great. So let's get rid of that. and that. Okay, haven't we got any errors going on here? Let's just check the code. What's that? Oh, okay, it's throwing that exception. We can look at that later. I think that makes it's better, I think. So we find a status by internal name, and we then create the webhook from the event. We set the status, and then we save and flush. Yeah. And we've removed 2 constructor arguments. So, on the whole, I think that's better. I'm going to run PHP Storm quickly. I just want to see. Actually, no, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'm going to run. If we go back to in here, we've got 71%. That's where it landed. We're going to see if we've done any better. 71.70%. So I need to come out of the container. If it will let me, thank you. And what I need to do is do a make test coverage. And we'll run. This is going to take a bit of time because there's a the unit tests won't take long, but the integration tests will. So they'll take longer. Ugh. And it is, was it 71.70 dB? I essentially just want some coverage, smaller percentages in this one, and then bigger coverage in the repo and the manager. I'm gonna have to deal with the manager bag at some other point. Well, I tell you what, I haven't actually ran. No, this is good. I was going to say I haven't actually ran the tests. Yeah, so I ran this last night. So hopefully this will be a fair representation. I think it is. Okay, here we go. Wait for this to go through. Okay. Well, it's gone down. Lol, it's gone down. But I just want to sniff in here. Do we have there we go. We've got our webhook managers and our status managers sorted. The important one is this one for me, the create from event, because this passes in the event and sets them. So if there's any change to Stripe, I will be aware. I'm so glad I didn't mock that, because I'm glad. So these two need to be handled. We'll do that later. I wish there was a way I could do a diff to see what was the difference between that. But in Stripe we have brought this down. That's cool. All right, so I'm gonna have to create an integration test for this on its own, I think. Getting the headers as well. What's the time? 8:15. I think before we continue on, we're going to need to run PHP stan. Just to, I'm going to run make make static analysis, just because I want to make sure that what I've created today hasn't screwed anything up from a static analysis standpoint. We probably have. Yeah. Oh, only one thing. Okay. Parameter 1 status of method Stripe Webhook set status expects that, but a null can also be returned. So, yes, this is because this is in our create from event routine, isn't it? No, we didn't do it in there, did we? We did it on the actual, on the handler here. So this is going to return a status or null. So we need to do a check in here, don't we? I'm just thinking the flow of this. If this isn't a problem, then I suppose we do need to throw an exception. Yeah. All right, let's run that again. Excellent. All right. Okay, I thought that could be the case. So this is beautifying the code. One remaining. So I'm just going to go through the test, through MD, through all that stuff. I think I've done MD. Has MD done mess detection? Yeah, that's done. Okay. So testing this, we're going to have to mock out the logger. Well, we're going to have to mock out all this, aren't we? We're going to have to mock that out. We're going to mock that out. We're going to mock that out. And we'll pass that in. Then we'll mock this routine. This is all going to go through okay. And the save and flush, and then we can test that we have actually saved it to the database. and then that gets mocked, and we can make sure that that also gets returned. Yeah. Okay, let's just kill this for a sec. I've seen you all pass, it's all good. 10 minutes left of the show. Is there any sort of little quick wins I can do? I think that's quite a big job. Let's have a look. Is there anything on our static on here that I can just do quickly?
Hello, coders.
Hey, thank you for following me. That's an interesting username, Coca74, or I can't pronounce that, but thank you very much for following. I do appreciate it. I guess what I can do is start this up, right? I guess so. There isn't much time left to do for me today, unfortunately. But what I can do is start playing around with the hooks. So if we go to Stripe and then put in another thing called hook, and then it is the Webhook Handler test. I'm just going to grab that. Just going to copy that, bung it in here for a minute, and we'll just quickly do a mock, I think, of those various things. Let's just do a public function before. Okay, right. Let's just change this quickly to Webhook Handler test. Let's just change all of this. And what we need to do is create our Webhook Handler. So we do protected Webhook Handler, which is that one. Webhook Handler. We need to construct this. So we do this. Webhook Handler is going to be a new instance of Webhook Handler, but we need to mock stuff. So the first thing we need to do is our validator. So we do validator is equal to this, create mock, and it is Webhook validator class. That goes into here, which is our validator routine. Next thing is, what is the next thing? Parameter interface. Parameter bag. Okay, that might be a tricky thing to mock out. But we'll try. Might be able to get away with that. Potentially. And lastly, we have our logger interface. Lol. Okay, this is our logger. Might be able to get away with that. I don't know. We'll see. But the thing that we don't want to screw around with is the manager bag, which is a new instance of Stripe manager bag. Now this takes the manager and the webhook manager and the status. So we'll put this into here for a sec. So we've got webhook manager is equal to a new webhook manager. That requires doctrine. That's fine, we'll deal with that in a second. That goes into there. This is a new Stripe status, webhook status manager. Come on. How long I've got? It's alright. Still got some time. It's all good. Just starting to rush a little bit. So that goes in there. That goes in there. We need to get our database in order. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That is going to be an awkward thing to deal with. If we go into our where do they live? Managers. This is what I need. Let's get manager on that job. All right, so this will grab in doctrine. This is doctrine. Get manager. Okay, tidy up the code. Right. So we are going to do a public function test of save event. There we go. So we do this webhook handler save event, passing in the event. We're going to grab the event that we had just as a dummy in here. We're going to do it in here. Okay, and we're going to pass the event through into there. Now, this should come back with a webhook. Yeah, just a webhook. And we should do a self assert. Now, this is just going to fail miserably, but we'll try. This is the... It's expected. Sorry, the expected is Stripe webhook class passing in the webhook. There we go. And I'll give this a group. Let's just grab this from here. Grab that from there. Go into here. Now I don't expect this to work at all. Stripe manager, Stripe. It's not a manager, it's a Stripe hook. And this is let's just do save event. I'm rushing and everything's going wrong. Event. I just want to get this out. There we go. Right. Copy this. I just want to see what the errors are because there's going to be a lot. So let's get it back into the container and let's do a bin. My mind went. I was going blank. Code set run integration -G. Paste that in. That's going to fail. Sweet. I can't spell integration, can I? annoying. Okay, integration -G, and we're going to do, what was it I called it? It was this. Okay, I reckon there's going to be an error with the mocks. There's an error with the mocks, parameter bag interface. It's to do with that parameter bag, isn't it? Which is this one. I don't think I can mock that. I'm not sure I can. I don't know. Parameter. I mean, I could try. Give it a go. It might work. I don't know. I've never tried to know. Although, yeah, API secret. Must be a string, null is used. Okay. This is because of this up here. I need to put in a getter of that. Okay, fine. Anyway. That's the end of the stream. Thank you ever so much for watching. Happy coding, everyone. And I'll see you on YouTube on Thursday at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. GMT today. And we're going to be talking, well, I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to give it away. You just have to be there. But it's the podcast. So it's episode 96, I think it is, of the podcast. So youtube.com/howtocodewell. And we'll be talking about stuff, shall we say, on there later. So thank you ever so much for watching. I'm going to try and find the off button now, wherever that's gone. All of my windows have moved. Thank you for watching. Happy coding. Cheers. Bye.